Hey, what's up everybody? This is me from the future. I just recorded and edited this video and I realized that it can come off as super negative. And that's really a thing that I wanted to avoid on this channel, but these are my initial thoughts on what has been released at the Ministravaganza live stream for Star Wars Legion yesterday. We're still getting a roadmap, so I hope some questions will be answered there. Just as a disclaimer, it could come off as super negative. I still love the game. I'm going to get into the new version 2.0, whatever it is. But just, stay respectful in the comments, especially towards other people. Yeah, let's just open the discussion. What do you guys think about all of this? Yeah, let's see. Let's get into the video right now. Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm just quickly going to gather my thoughts about whatever happened at Ministravaganza. AMG released a new version of Star Wars Legion, but they're not calling it 2.0, but I think I'm going to call it 2.0 because it is a completely different game in a lot of aspects. So first of all, something that is close to my heart, branding. So the branding has changed. We have a new logo. A logo and branding is personal taste, obviously. I personally think it doesn't look good. It is not my taste, but we're going to have to deal with it. This is Star Wars Legion new logo. And the thing that I liked about like the old branding, it was kind of classic looking, it looked classy. Even my girlfriend, who is also in like the branding and marketing business, she liked the Star Wars Legion branding so much more than, for example, 40K or Warhammer in general. It looked nice, you have this nice illustration, then a lot of black, and then a classy monotone logo. This is very different. It's not to my taste, but let's just move on. Because there is another thing about the branding that is really important that has changed, and that is the cards. The cards look very different now. There's 5 different fonts on one single card. The fonts are not coherent with each other. It doesn't feel like it belongs in the same family. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It looks like a combination between Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol, basically. I'm sorry that I'm ranting about this a little bit, but I just really like the old cards. They were a bit boring looking. Maybe people would say that. Now with that branding, you can expect that there is going to be changes to the game as well. That is why I'm surprised that they're not just calling it a completely new version, a version 2.0, because it screams that it's a version 2.0. I guess they want to stay away from the term 2.0, but yeah. The mission system has been completely overhauled in this update. Gone is the old battle deck. Alright, we made 18 new battle cards to use instead. But then we have this round counter / victory token thing. Oh man, I really don't want to get back into the branding again, but this looks like some serious crap. Now all of a sudden we have a new font for numbers, but it's not everywhere. It's only on this thing. And this is probably going to be something that they will print and come with a new core box or something. And then they made some serious changes to how to deploy your units, because it's not deployment zones anymore, it's players' territories. Apart from that, I think the unit sizes are much larger. We have a 1000 points, but also a whole different way to build squads. So the squads can be huge now. I saw that like 112 B1s can be fielded in a game now. It feels like we're going towards a bit of a bigger scale Legion, which, it could be cool. It feels maybe a bit more like 40K now, but sure. The other major thing that is happening is that cover is completely changed. Normally you would have cover 1 or cover 2, or you have low profile and you could have cover 3. Cover is now done by rolling white dice. So cover is now based on chance, and as a Rebel player, I'm not sure if I'm too stoked about that. Is the cover going to be the same for Rebels as it is for Stormtroopers? I think it is. Maybe they got like keywords that improve cover even more. Maybe all of the rebels should now have low profile. I don't know how low profile is going to work now, but if you know, yeah, please let me know. They did talk a little bit about how they like to bring more asymmetrical battle maps to Legion, and I think this is a great thing. Me and my buddy Rick, we've been experimenting with some asymmetrical mats and custom missions and everything, and yeah, I actually like that a lot. I'm not a competitive player at all, but I like the games to be thematic. If the new rules are going to make that happen, I am excited about that. For sure. We talked a little bit about the branding of the cards before, but let's talk about the cards themselves because they have been completely overhauled. No, I do not like the design in the slightest. I like the old cards, but also what is happening with these cards? They're saying that they're not obsolete, and there's actually a reference in the new core rulebook, which is already out. But a lot of the unit cards have been changed. There's like different dice on it now, there's different keywords on it. And the thing is that I spent a lot of money on keeping the cards, keeping them nice in a binder. I buy a binder for it. These cards are going to be obsolete at some point. I mean, they're not calling it out to be obsolete right now, but there's new cards coming with different keywords, with different stuff that units can do. How is it not obsolete, or how is it not going to be obsolete? And it is fine to update your cards. I mean, there's a bunch of cards that I have that got updated, and it's not on the physical cards itself. But just be upfront about it and tell us that we're going to need to buy new cards, like a conversion kit 2.0, like with X-Wing. And yes, I know that was not AMG's doing, that was Fantasy Flight Games, but still, it's probably going to be the same, right? We're going to have like a conversion kit for the new cards, but what am I going to do with these now? They're a nice collector's piece, I guess. I don't know. And apparently the same goes for upgrade cards as well. They have a totally new look with 5 different fonts on it as well. Nice. So in the beginning of the stream, they were talking about how this is part 1 of the revamping of Legion, and that the same time next year, we're going to see part 2. They're going to kind of phase it in, basically. To me, it feels like that we're going to have to mix our legacy cards with new cards that are going to come out. I expect that the sleeper cell unit for the Rebels, for example, it will come with new cards. So it's going to be messy this year. It's going to be messy. We're going to have all kinds of different cards. And how are you going to explain this to new players? That's my main concern about this. And I know people talking about like, yeah, okay, but the list building, you do that with Tabletop Admiral, for example, who does list building with their cards. That's a good point, but then we're almost getting at the point that we're going to need a codex like 40k, right? Like a PDF that you print out with all the units. Like, okay, this unit does this. I used to have that for Kill Team. My buddies and I, we played with our own PDFs printed out on the table with what the units could do with the most recent rules. If we're going for that, then just go for that. But now with new card, it feels like they have to get it right the first time. And I don't have the feeling that this stuff has been play tested a lot. And that's what a community member, the Mouse Geek, said over at my Discord as well. Like, I don't feel like this has been play tested a lot with the community. So what happens when these cards get upgraded? Are we going to be left with cards that are obsolete after maybe a year? We're going to have to get reprints again. I don't know. And guys, all of this sounds kind of like a rant. It's just because I really liked Legion for what it was. I really liked everything about Legion. I liked the branding. I'd like, the classy feel of it, the simple mechanics. And there's not going to be a lot of changes for the mechanics, but there is some. And if you want to read up on the new rules, you can check it out right here in the description. I left a link to the new rules, so you be the judge of that. But for me personally, I feel kind of bummed out. Whenever this stuff is happening to games that I play, I sometimes lose interest, and I really didn't want that to happen for Legion. And I mentioned it a few times before, maybe the new rules are super, super good. I hope they are. I really hope they are. And I'm probably going to play them. But I am bummed out about this. I am bummed out about the rebranding, about the new cards. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the Shatterpoint slash Marvel Crisis Protocol combination of fonts used. I mean, it looks like they literally took MCP fonts, put them on the cards, and then put a little bit of Shatterpoint in there with the mission deck, control deck, or whatever it is. And not because we have to buy new cards, because if I could buy the new cards in the old branding, I'd be happier. I'd be happier. But now we're going to be left with maybe a deck of cards that it's not coherent at all. It's going to be one big mess. Tonight we're going to have the roadmap, so we're going to see what kind of card packs we are going to have to... I'm kidding. What kind of new units are coming out. We'll see what happens. So this was more of a initial thoughts video for me, how I personally think about it. There's probably going to be a more organized video a little bit later on. I don't know when. We're going to have to see with the releases, with the roadmap, what is happening. That is going to maybe tie in some questions that we have. For now, I think it is good to print out the new rulebook at least and see what we can do with whatever stuff we have right now. So just get yourself that rulebook. Link is in the description. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.